Flipping Houses for Rookies. The only podcast that shows you how to take back your financial freedom and live the American dream by becoming a real estate investor. Without the banks, without the big wigs, and without the realtor's nonsense. This isn't about selling you coaching or some get-rich-quick scheme. It's about opening your eyes to the possibilities so you can make real chunks of dough, buy your life back, and become a free American. With over 400 episodes aired, we're delivering everything you need to know to find deals, talk to sellers, structure deals, and win big. It's time to take action, change your mindset, and claim what's yours. Real estate is the key to your freedom, and we're here to show you the way. Subscribe now and catch our latest episodes on YouTube at Flipping Houses for Rookies, because your financial freedom starts today. Now, here are your hosts, Bill and Pete.
All right, here we are at another episode of Flipping Houses for Rookies. Hey, Peter.
Hey, Bill, and hey to all the boys and girls and people who want to be very successful.
That's right. So here we are, podcast number 472, and have I got a special treat for you today? Let me see here. It says Twitter's got to go live. I got to take Twitter off of there. It says I have to have a premium account. I don't even know what that means.
Oh, that means pay money. You pay now. Pay.
Yeah. All right, podcast number 472. The name of today's podcast, Peter, is Your Schedule versus Creative Real Estate Freedom. Part 1.
Oh, Lord. There's two of them.
I got some really cool stuff for you guys.
Okay,
good. All right, so I'm going to read to you the description so you know what you're getting into in the next 60 minutes. So here we go. Mm-hmm. Shocking news. Creative real estate financial goals are for losers unless you know the secrets revealed by the elite top creative real estate deal makers who crush it month after month. I'm dead serious. After dissecting creative real estate investors' habits, I found 97% are using goals to destroy their own success.
I'm sorry.
And don't even know it.
I'm sorry. That just doesn't make sense. But I'm sure you'll explain. Goals to start. Go ahead.
I got 2 podcasts to explain.
Lord. Go ahead.
Here's the brutal truth. Here's the brutal truth. In fact, out of everything that I say today, I feel like this is the most important. If you have a future goal that has not shattered your present day routine and habits, you are actually creating a weapon of mass procrastination. A mental sedative that tricks your mind in thinking this is the perfect growth strategy to hit my financial and lifestyle freedoms. Then, not too far off into the future, you find yourself overworked in your business like some glorified employee. You've stopped measuring success and replaced your measuring by how many hours you are working, and it doesn't go anywhere. Do not listen to this podcast if you don't want blunt, in-your-face, new style thinking. Because I'm going to give that to you today.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to confront things that you are not confronting. And I know because my entire family is saying to me right now, "You okay, Bill? Bill, you okay?"
Come on.
My wife,
What?
my 2 sisters, and I just got off the phone with my oldest daughter.
What? What? What are you making
okay,
faces? What are they asking you that for? Are you making faces?
If you're sick and tired of your business and your schedule running you, then you need to listen to this podcast. Okay, so before I go any further, I forgot to do this before I started. We're gonna go over some housekeeping stuff. The first thing I want to do, Peter, is I want to apologize to all of our listeners from the bottom of my heart. It was brought to my attention in a coaching call, which I had no idea this was happening, that our music for the intro and the outro was way more decibels than what you and I speak during the podcast. I had no idea that we had it on full blast and we were blowing your eardrums out. And I was told that, and it should be fixed by this podcast. And I apologize that we didn't know that. I would like you to promise me that you could send, if something like that happens, please send me an email to flippinghousesforrookies@gmail.com. I will fix it immediately. I apologize for that. In the meantime, let's get through some of our housekeeping. Realize that I don't have people that sponsor me. I don't run ads in the middle of the podcast. I just do this couple-minute blip in the beginning, and I tell you what I would like you to do, and hopefully you go do it. So the first thing is go to Amazon.com, type in my name, William Hawthorne, without an E, Hawthorn, and grab my book. There's 7 books there, but my latest book is Leads, Deals, Cash, Creative Real Estate Operator's Manual. I have just finished last night at 11-something p.m. I finished another book, which is going to be all about negotiating for creative real estate deals. And I got to tell you, Peter, I've written a lot of books. I've written probably a dozen books. I've written 7 or 8 for myself, and I've written a few for others. This is the best one. Wait till you see it. It's just incredible. I mean, just incredible. All these sentences, all these phrases, all these sales things I've been telling you guys about for 472 podcasts are all in one book now. And I isolated them at the end. I actually put an appendix at the end, and I put all the sayings there and when to use them on the appendix.
Yeah, that makes sense. That's cool.
Really
That's cool.
Glossaries and everything. All right, good. So also make sure you subscribe to us wherever you're listening to us or watching us. Make sure you like us, and please leave a comment if you so desire. And again, if you want to send us a communication, me or Peter, myself or Peter, go to flippinghousesforrookies@gmail.com, or you can go to Flipping Houses for Rookies and put a support ticket in. I don't go to that site as much as I used to. I used to go there daily to do my emails, but I don't do that anymore. Because I've been sending an email. I've been sending a newsletter every week, which is creativerealestatedealology.com. So it's creativerealestatedealology.com. So good morning, Sam.
Hey, Sam.
Sam says, "Good day. Share knowledge, fellas." Here we go. I got a great podcast for you, Sam. All right, so I'm not going to, usually I do the theory in the beginning of this podcast. I'm going to try to stop doing that because maybe I'm losing people. I'm going to dive right in. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go over, I'm on this malpractice thing. So I wrote all the malpractices of, like, the malpractice of a creative real estate. That's the name of the new book, as a matter of fact. Let me see if I can find it here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have it in front of me, so I can't tell you what it is. In any event, so we're going to talk about the signs of creative real estate scaling malpractice. Scaling, how you scale. How do you make consistent income? How do you make this so that you can rely on it and give everything else up? And I think that's a goal of a lot of people, my listeners, myself. That's why I'm telling you I've been in a funk. My family's asking me what's going on because I'm in the middle of doing this in my own head. And I'm going to tell you what I did here. So I did 6 of them just because I did 6 malpractice, on negotiating. So I did on podcast number 4. I've started at podcast number 468. So if you really want to get some really good information, all 468, 469, 70, 71, and now we're on 72. Are all the content? I've elaborated on all that in the new book, and you will be able to get that pretty soon. But my point is, I'm babbling right now, is I want to let you know that today we're going to cover the malpractice portion of it. The next podcast, which is next week for us, podcast number 473, is going to cover the solutions.
Got it.
Because I was going to try to put them all in one podcast, but when I got to the end, I realized it's way too much information. I'll end up just reading you shit, and I don't want to do that. I want to have some commentary on it, because it's all legitimately typed out, and will probably be my book. My intention is that the first quarter of this year, I wrote the Creative Real Estate Operator's Manual. Now we're in the second quarter. I'm going to write the negotiating book on how to negotiate creative real estate deals. The third quarter, my intention is to write a book on how to hire people and what people hire them and how to correctly hire them and get them to be part of your team and all that stuff. And then the last quarter is all about scaling. How do you scale your business? So that's my 2025 goals. But I figured out that I have to write the scaling one before I could write the how to hire people one.
Well, that makes sense. Because scaling is...
In my head.
Well, that makes sense because scaling is when you take whatever operation you have that's producing something and you move up. Like you have one house and you figure out how to do one house a month. Or you go to apartment buildings or you build it so it gets bigger without getting crazy with it. So nicely controlled. That's scaling.
Yeah,
So
each one of these books, that's right, Peter, each one of these books will have a workbook. I have the workbook already for the Operator's Manual. Each one will have a workbook. And then I'm pretty sure that each one will turn into a 3-month coaching spell. So we'll coach just that one aspect. That's why there's 4 of them, because it's a year-long thing.
Wow.
And you could get involved with that if you so desire. Once it comes out, I would imagine that will be 2000. I hope it's not that long, but it probably will be in 2026 is when I'll kick off all the coaching and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So in the meantime, you should read the books. Okay? So here we go. Sign number 1. This is like evidence number 1. Goals. So we're talking about the signs of creative real estate scaling malpractice. What is malpractice?
Well, mal means bad. So it's bad practices. Yeah. So you expect in any industry that there's certain things you should do. In real estate, we should do this to be successful. And we do anything else, it's not right. It's malpractice. It's mistakes.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's the things you shouldn't be doing or the things that you're sabotaging yourself with, right?
Yep.
So the first sign is this. I said it in the beginning. Goals are for losers. And here's the reason why. Because work expands into your available time. Work expands into your available time. Goals are for losers unless you understand the fundamental truth. Work expands into available time. So when you set a 5-year goal or a 10-year goal or a 15-year financial freedom goals or just lifestyle goals, or just a journey like where you want to be, you're not creating urgency, you're creating procrastination.
Yeah, I was going to say, geez, those sound too long. Who's going to plan that far ahead and do anything about it? That's going to just disappear by Monday morning.
Even a 1-year goal is like that. I don't do 1-year goals. I always do 3-month goals.
Yeah.
My book, in fact, here it is. I've showed it to you before. I just got done writing it. This is my 90-day goal. I write it every morning. Sometimes I write it every night. And I have a couple businesses, so there's 4 or 5 categories, and they're one paragraphs, 2-3 sentences. And I can't tell you the therapy that brings me. Like, if I had a bad day yesterday, which doesn't happen too often, but I do get them. If I had a bad day yesterday, I sit down and write my goals this morning. It seems to erase yesterday.
Yeah.
And it gives me hope.
Yeah.
It shows me that I'm doing something about it. That it's just not dormant, right?
Yep.
So these comfortable timelines trick your mind into thinking that you have unlimited time, which makes me feel optional. So you have too much time, and it makes you feel like it's optional. Like, oh yeah, that's my goal. Oh yeah, it's over there. It might happen.
How about this one? I'll hit it hard tomorrow.
Yeah. Someday I'll be like that.
I've never thought that to myself. I just want to say that out loud. I'll hit it hard tomorrow. Never said that. Never thought that.
Yeah. Right.
Ooh.
So to me, being polite, and this is the bluntness, that's mental masturbation in your own mind. You're just playing with yourself in your own mind, thinking these ideas, right? Give yourself a decade to succeed, and your mind allocates minimal daily effort, right? Give yourself 3 years, and suddenly every day becomes ethical or critical.
Mm-hmm.
So instead of a 5-year goal, do a 3-year or a 1 year, right? Now here's the thing, and I'm going to talk about this in a little while. It has to be an impossible goal. Like, you don't know how you're going to hit it.
Oh, that's interesting.
And you need to let time in your mind, because realize, most people don't realize this. Maybe they do, maybe they don't. Your mind has one job. You know what that job is? Only one job. Actually, 2 jobs. One into the other. Do you know what they are?
I think I know what they are, but I was thinking 1, not 2.
Go ahead.
Help you solve problems of survival so that you succeed happily.
That was it 2. Solve problems, and so you could survive. That's right.
Mm-hmm. Wow, good for us.
So you have a choice. You could either feed your mind with the problems of what you expect survival to be, and have a purpose and a goal, or you could not feed your mind and let the environment feed your mind. It's like you put money away. Like, Grandpa gave me $50,000 because he died. You put the $50,000 in the bank, and it has no purpose, it has no reason, and next thing you know, oh, the car breaks, it needs $3,000, I'll take it out. Oh, the roof leaks, it needs $10,000, I'll take it out. Next thing you know, the money's gone. The reason why? No purpose, no goal, no direction, no allocation of energy.
Yeah.
Because energy is always moving. This world is full of energies. Our cells are plus and minus. Lights, energy, everything has molecules. Everything is moving. Even rocks have molecules.
Mm-hmm.
Everything's moving. It's energy. Right?
That's right.
So you need to make sure that you direct that energy to what you want.
Yeah, money itself is an energy. It gets you things.
Exactly.
Or it disappears for you.
That's right. So now watch this, Peter. Just like a student who has a semester to write a paper, he has a semester. Now, how long is a semester?
Oh,
3 months?
3 months, maybe 4. 3.
Right.
Yeah.
Versus a student that has 1 week.
Well, they both have 1 week because the first guy's going to wait till the last week.
That's right. The timeline determines the intensity. So when I say goals are for losers, it's because if you don't have a strict, impossible goal, the intensity doesn't get jacked up. Do you understand?
Yeah.
And that's what I mean. That's what I mean. If the intensity is not jacked up, then your present day, however you're living today, those habits, those thoughts, those things you're doing today aren't going to change. Until you crank up that intensity and you start inspecting, why am I doing this? Is this part of my goal, or is this taken away from my goal, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if your future goal isn't making you think of new bright ideas for expansion with the pressure of having to make radical changes, it's not the right goal. Your comfortable timeline becomes a mental sedative that allows you to stay busy without being productive, active without effectiveness. Without a compelling mission statement that drives your purpose and creates urgency, others won't buy your journey either. The path gets cluttered. It's like driving down the road in a country road, right? And the road is wide open and it's paved and there's nobody around and you could do 90 miles an hour.
Yeah.
100 miles an hour, 120 miles an hour. As opposed to a road that's not paved, full of potholes and trees falling down all around it. Right?
Yeah.
Because your intention will cause that. Your your ideas, your environment, what you emanate off of you, will create the nice clean road or the old-fashioned road. Right?
Yep.
You'll remain trapped in an endless expansion of work into whatever time you've allowed it. Have I made my point?
Yeah.
Good. We're moving on to sign number 2.
Tune in next week for the solution, folks. But, boys and
Yes.
girls, your homework is to think, how can you solve that? And then Bill will tell us more next time.
I think you should write your goals for next week so you know what they are, and then I
Yeah.
can tell you how to do them.
Yeah.
All right. The tell, as I call tell, a poker tell number 2, or the sign number 2. Here comes the blunt part. You're an amateur disguised as a pro. Here's the core difference between being a pro and an amateur in creative real estate. The core difference in creative real estate. It's for everything, but I put it to creative real estate.
Sure.
Amateurs don't want to be held accountable, while pros demand it at all levels.
Interesting how I wasn't sure where you go with that, but that makes sense.
Amateurs don't want to be held accountable, while pros demand it at all levels. Now pay attention to this, because you're doing this either consciously or subconsciously.
Sure.
Amateurs are willing to let others down, miss deadlines, skip practice, and make excuses for lack of performance.
Wow.
It's not my fault. It rained.
Yeah.
Well, it snowed 2 feet here today. I couldn't get to the grocery store, so we have no food.
Sure.
A pro is accountable at all levels and wants to be held accountable because they know that their lowest acceptance performance will be, they know their floor. In other words, what's their floor? What's the least amount they're going to do? And they will not accept anything less than that. On what they will do and what they won't do. So this is a big thing. This comes from Ben Hardy's new book, The Science of Scaling. You should read it. It just came out. The floor, he talks about the floor being the lowest level. So you have the floor and the ceiling. He calls it raising the floor, but I have a different analogy of it, right? So the floor, or what I'm calling the acceptance level, which is a better way to do it, is what are you willing to do and what aren't you willing to do?
Sure.
Now, I know you run into this because I'll tell you, don't do that deal. It's not worth it. Right? So what is your floor? What are you willing to do? What are you not willing to do? And when you raise the ceiling or raise the where you want to go, the floor comes with it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Right? And I'm going to explain that in a couple minutes. Okay? So the amateur, now this is the most important part. So the first thing I said to you when I first started is the most valuable thing I'm going to tell you in this podcast is work expands into available time. This is the second one. Both of these are writer-downers, by the way. The second one is this. An amateur practices until he can do a thing right. Somebody's knocking at the door right now. I have no idea who that is. And my wife's going to be yelling at me, somebody's at the door.
Oh, upstairs? That's like the house. Jeez.
An amateur practices until he can do a thing right. A professional practices until he can do it, until he can't do it wrong.
Wait a minute. Say those again.
Yeah. An amateur practices until he can do things right.
Okay.
A professional practices until he can't do it wrong.
Okay. The first one sounded good until I heard the second one. Well, wait a minute. Oh, that's even better. Okay. All right.
Amateurs practice, you should write it down. Amateurs practice until he can do things right. Professionals practice until he can't do it wrong.
Good.
The amateur, despite whatever potential they have, gets distracted by everything around them and hasn't yet faced the truth that they can't have it both ways. They can't maintain the level of contradiction that is their life and go to new levels in scale and results. When your acceptance level is low, your floor is also low. When your ceiling is high, your acceptance level is much higher.
Mm-hmm.
Good strategy means choosing what you're optimized for. The essence of strategy is choosing what not to do. As Steve Jobs said, simple can be harder than complex. You have to work hard to get your thinking clean and make it simple. But it's worth it in the end, because once you get there, you can move mountains. So a good goal is so clear and so massive and so overwhelming that it knocks out all the crap that you're doing, because you're so intense on the new goal. You need to find time, energy, and resources to get there, and you know it.
So when you're saying available time, it's not just what the world hands to you, it's what you make available to yourself. Because hell, every week has 168 hours in it. What do you do with it?
Right. So now, what I'm talking about is the goal deadline. So instead of having a 5-year goal, like I'm gonna have 50 houses bought and paying me $25,000 a month. I'm just making these numbers up.
Sure.
Right? In 5 years. Well, why not do that in 2 years?
Right, but I'm saying you make more time for yourself because of that. You don't just wait this time to magically happen. Don't you have to create the time and make it there? Put it there?
We have the time already. It's just, what are you doing with it?
That's what I mean. You make it available for this specifically. You just, you have time blocking or whatever. You have to make it work for you.
Well, no. I think you're missing the point. What happens is when you make like for example, Creative REI Replay is a software company, and we add new people on, right? So right now, let's say we add on, these are made up numbers, say we add on 5 people a week.
New customers. Yeah.
We add on 5 people in a week, and that's 20 a day. 20 a month. Right? So what's that, 250 a year, right?
Yeah, 240, 250, right. Sure.
So what if I wanted to get to 500 in 3 months? So now, instead of looking at, okay, well, I'm going to have my salesmen do one-on-one demos. An idea could be, why don't I go to an influencer that has 100,000 people on his email list, and let's do a webinar and present to 25,000 people instead of 100,000, 25,000 people, and get 300 signups in 4 hours.
Yeah.
You see what I mean? So time has nothing to do with it, which I'm going to go over.
Okay.
It makes you think on a new level, like, well, how else could I do that? If I can't do it the way I'm doing it, and that's the point, is you have to shatter what you're doing, because what you're doing isn't working. Because if it was, you'd be doing it already.
Yeah. Okay.
Is that clear?
Yeah, that's good.
Okay, good. So it's not just time. It's like by bringing the timeline in and making the goal impossible, it's going to change your way of thinking of, how could I get this?
Right.
It's going to give you new, bright ideas.
Got it. That's cool.
Tell number 3, or sign number 3, paid hours versus available completed work. This is a new word for you. Valuable completed work, known as, from this day forward, the VCW. Valuable completed work. How it keeps you poor or makes you rich. Here's the fundamental difference between wealth and poverty and creative real estate. Creative hours, I'll give that to you again, in creative real estate. Paid hours keep you poor.
Mm.
Your valuable completed work, or VCW, is what makes you rich.
Mm-hmm.
When you have a personal, when you have to personally view every property, talk to every seller, and handle every detail, you're trading hours for dollars like an employee.
Mm-hmm.
Paid hours means your income stops when you stop working. And since work expands into your available time, you'll always find more hours to fill with low value activities. So you feel busy.
Mm-hmm.
But when you use valuable completed work as your measurement, there's a difference. Their inventory that generates money. So in other words, in creative real estate, we use inventory. So our VCWs are our inventory.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? That means that what happens is, lately, and you and I just had this conversation, like I said to you, because you're trying to critique the deals as if you were going to buy them yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're used to putting properties into our portfolio and keeping them for years and years, sometimes, decades, right?
Right, or just I want to be in the right ballpark, so maybe it'll sell better, but that's the mistake.
So what the system is that we talk about in Leads, Deals, Cash, Creative Real Estate Operators Manual,
Mm-hmm.
is you start off with doing slot deals, which is a sandwich lease option transfer, which means you get a lease with an option from your seller. You mark it up 5%, sometimes 10%, mostly 5%, and then go market it to a buyer.
Mm-hmm.
You make a 5% profit. Let's say that they're asking $200,000 and the payment's $1,500 a month, and the seller's willing to let you do this for 36 months so that the buyer can get qualified.
Yep.
So you get that agreement from your seller. You now go sell it to a buyer for $210,000.
Mm-hmm.
They give you $10,000 for the down payment money, or the non-refundable option consideration deposit, which is the same amount of money as 5%. So you can switch that money in paperwork to a down payment for FHA mortgage.
Mm-hmm.
And you move on.
Yep.
You do all the documents, you put the people in for your 5%, you're going to do all the legwork for the seller.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a non-risky deal that could cost you anywhere from $1 to $100. I suggest you don't do more than $100 for your non-refundable deposit.
Mm-hmm.
So that means you bought the deal for $100 and you're going to sell it for $10,000. Okay?
Yep.
Every time you make one of those deals, that is a valuable completed work that you can get paid for.
Mm.
So the more of those that you have, or the other way is the seller wants all cash. So you say, well, I'll get you all cash if you give me a 5% discount. They're going to pay the realtor at least 5%. They're going to pay 10, 12, 15% of closing costs, but it doesn't matter. They're going to pay the realtor 5%, so why not give it to you? So the way they do that is they give you a 5% discount. So on a $400,000 house, 5% discount would mean they're going to write the option agreement with you for all cash for $380,000. They're going to give you 90 days to go sell it. You're going to go market the property for, say, $385,000. So you're $15,000 below market value. You'll beat all the realtors because they're going to try to get $400,000 plus, and you're going to get a little bit of a frenzy war and probably get more than the $5,000 that you're making.
Yep.
But here's the point: between the slot option and then the cash option, your job is that is a valuable completed work. That's what you're getting paid for. If you could do that in 20 minutes, hooray. If it takes you 3 months to do that, then hooray. because you're going to make 10, 20, 30, $50,000. We have students right now that are making, they're selling $800,000 houses, getting $50, $60, $80,000 for their profit because it's just the numbers are bigger.
Yep.
So you have to measure yourself on complete valuable. Why is it valuable?
Because somebody's willing to give you money for it.
Or whatever, yeah. And it's completed work. Your completed work is the seller's handled, you found the seller, you handled them on that type of transaction, you did the documents with them, got them onto an option agreement, willing to do a lease, you prepared the seller for the buyer. Now you're going to put it up big because the money, all your money comes from buyers. It doesn't come from the seller, it comes from buyers. Mm-hmm. I've been in coaching group and been doing this for 20 years, and I can't tell you how many people came and gone because they didn't make any money. They couldn't sustain it. You talk about, oh, well, you work all week and you don't get paid on Friday. Then you work for 2 weeks and you don't get paid on Friday. Mm-hmm. Then you work for a month, you don't get paid. But at the end of 3 months, when you finish the rehab, you get paid, but you get paid for all the time.
Sure.
Not many people could wait for that.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Well, that's the reason why I don't like fix and flip. Fix and flip is you're getting paid by the hour.
Yeah.
Technically.
Yeah.
Technically. It's valuable completed work, but it's measured by hours because some guys could do it in 30. Some guys could do a $40,000 renovation in 3 weeks. Other guys, it takes them 3 months. I've seen students, it takes them 2 years.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
So, unfortunately, what happens in that business is that there's holding costs that eats up it's the hidden disease in that business, right? So, the point that I'm trying to make here is that once you get the mind shift that I have to get valuable completed works done,
mm-hmm.
that's how you're making your money. So the more valuable completed works that you have done, the more chances of a buyer finding the property and paying you a big chunk of dough. So your job, much like the realtor, has the game of getting multiple listing, listing agreements on the multiple listing, the MLS.
Mm-hmm.
That's their job, right?
Sure.
That's how they get paid.
Mm-hmm.
So how do you do that, right? So your inventory being advertised on the market for sale is your valuable completed work. So the more the market can see this, the more buyers we attract, the more offers we receive, the more money we make. This is putting yourself in the path of success, right? Instead of chasing individual deals like Paid Hours does, you need to have these little soldiers called option agreements out there on the market working for you and being advertised so that people with money can come open their wallet and pay you. Is this clear?
Very clear.
Sign number 4, or tell number 4. Your business stops when you stop. When you go on vacation and your deal flow stops, your marketing pauses, and your income disappears, you've built a business that requires your consistent feeding it like a demanding pet. Okay, so I just want to make a comment here because I'm going to buzz through this one because we've got 3 more to do and we only have 20 more minutes. So here's the point that I want to make.
Yeah.
I'm telling you that if you go on vacation, the deal flow stops.
Mm-hmm.
What about that week when you're in a fog? Those couple days when you're in a fog. You didn't sleep well, or you're not feeling good, or your back hurts, or your sister's giving you a hard time, or your kids aren't doing good in school, and you're in a fog and your attention shifts off into another universe or into another place or another spectrum.
Yeah.
And you're not giving it your full focus. Is that the same as going on vacation? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, not as much fun, but yes. Sure. Well, you're out of commission.
Right. So you haven't put yourself into, so when you're doing that, you haven't put yourself into a path of success, right? So by creating systems that consistently generate inventory that the market can see and respond to. Since work expands into your available time, you've unconsciously filled every available hour with activities that require your presence, creating a prison of your own making. Here's the breakthrough. You can shorten the allotted time to work by focusing on the valuable completed work, the VCW concept, and time is not connected to this outcome.
Yep.
So if you've got 10 option agreements or slot deals on the market and you fog out for 2 days or 3 days or don't feel good, does that change anything?
No, you have that activity in motion. So, like when you have houses that are sold or you're holding them and they're making money, you sleep better. You know, you wake up, you're like, how much did I make last night? Oh, look, made a few $100.
Watch this, Peter.
Yeah.
Now watch this.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Yeah.
If you can think about it. If you can talk to a seller for about 45 minutes and get a slot deal, a sandwich lease option transfer, sign for a 36-month lease and an option to purchase, then spend about 45 minutes putting it on Zillow or Avail.co so sellers can find it. Avail.co puts it on 157 different websites, so this is how you do it in 45 minutes. Then you have the buyer give you the 5% markup price that you did, like I talked about earlier. Right? You just made 5% for about 2 hours of your time. So 5% on 200K, that's 10 grand. 5% on 300K, that's 15 grand. 5% on 400K, that's 20 grand. For 2 hours with the work. Why does it work? Because it's valuable to the buyer that you bring to the market either a discounted property or owner financing. Because our ads on the slot deals are going to say, which is a sandwich lease option, it says house for sale, no bank qualifying, and you're going to offer them the 36-month lease to own and then help them get approved for a mortgage. And we don't do that. We have somebody else do that. I'm going to talk about that in the next podcast. So you can work 2 to 10 hours at your job and make this also. So I'm going to start over again. Where can you go and work 2 to 10 hours and make this much dough and a job? And the funny thing is this is just a mindset that you have made important enough to act on. In other words, money out of thin air. And only you can make this adjustment. You're focused on delivering completed services instead of understanding that your buyer would pay you for exceptional systems that create valuable completed work automatically. The deep emotional experience, over delivery of satisfaction, and social status lifts your client's experience comes through your systematic approach. We're going to talk about this in much more podcasts. But if in my new book I put, if your deal is not over delivering in abundance satisfaction, and it doesn't lift their social status, you did it wrong. Without a compelling mission statement that others can rally around, and the valuable completed work system that work independently, your business depends entirely on your personal presence and energy, and that work will continue expanding to fill whatever time you make available instead of creating the compressed time. You give your VA 5 hours to do something, how long is it going to take her?
Yep.
High valuable, valuable created works generate maximum income. So the least VCWs you have, the least amount of money you make. The more VCWs you have, the more money you make.
Yep.
So if you're not making enough money, that means you don't have enough VCWs.
Makes sense.
Number 5. You can't separate signal from noise. I could do a whole podcast just on this one. When your timeline spans 5, 10, or 15 years, or even a year, you can't distinguish between activities that create freedom and activities that create busyness. Large, comfortable goals don't enable you to separate the signal from the noise because everything seems potentially important. And work expands into your available time to fill every corner and seemingly urgent tasks. The signal is activities that build systems which generate income without your presence while creating emotional satisfaction and status lifts for your clients. What's a status lift?
Well, people regard you with higher regard. Like they say, oh, Jim over there, did you see how he's doing? Look, he's got a new car. He has some real estate, I hear now, and he's doing well. They're going on vacation, and he gave a contribution to the children's hospital. He's doing good. And people just look at you like,
So
you're
how
doing
would
well.
a status lift be for a seller?
Oh, hey, how you doing with your house? Oh, I got these 2 guys are working on it. It's almost sold. They're doing a great job. Or I sold it. Everything's happy. These guys took good care of me, and everything's happy.
Yeah. I'm glad I asked. You're missing it.
Okay.
How you doing on selling your house? You're not going to believe this. I met this guy who's going to give me 35% over market value, and it's completely legitimate.
Oh, wow. Okay.
What do you mean? What do you mean 35% over market value? Yeah, I tried to sell my house for $300,000, and he's promised me $400,000 if I just wait 3 years and just do a rent to own.
Mm-hmm.
And he showed me how to do it.
Mm-hmm.
That's a status lift.
Yeah.
He's bragging.
Yeah.
Right? Or you take your seller from this broken down house that they're in, and you put him into a nicer house because you were able to get rid of this house so he can buy the house that he wants to buy.
Mm-hmm.
Or you have a seller that's stuck in a life groove and can't get out of it. So it's like, oh my God, I can't believe it. My mom passed away and she left me her house, and it was full of all this stuff in there, and I was trying to figure out how I could go get all the stuff out of it and how I could get rid of it and get it off my plate. And I didn't want to spend my whole summer out there. I met this guy and he gave me top dollar, and I didn't have to do it. That's a status lift.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yep.
I just told you success comes from delivering valuable completed work, but the hidden secret to 10x your efforts. So say you have 10x your efforts. You get that means, right?
Yeah, 10 times.
Is deep emotional experience with your sellers. They have to have a deep emotional experience with you. Right? Over delivering of satisfaction and social status, and transforms your client's experience of selling this house into a level never heard of before. That will 10x you, right? Because now all of a sudden they're going to give you 2, 3, 4, 5 leads.
Mm-hmm.
And someday you won't even have to market. You'll just have enough referrals that you won't even need marketing.
That'd be nice. It's funny you say that. I did talk to the seller. We have the house for sale, and we weren't doing anything that I would consider unusual or exceptional. I was just doing, this is how we do it. And after like 10, 15 minutes, she says, I was working with our other guy. She said, oh, you guys are great. I feel so happy. You're taking such good care of me. I was like, wow. I was surprised because I thought I was just doing what we normally would do. but she was really, really happy. So that was a good sign.
It's a very good sign.
She's very, very pleased. Just
But here's the thing. Without a compressed and possible seeming deadline and a clear mission statement, you'll waste time on dead ends and distractions because your work will naturally expand to fill whatever timeline you've created. Goals should be the mental tool you use to direct your attention and make decisions from in present time. Not distant dreams that allow present day procrastination and endless work expansion. So your goals and your timelines they're the tool you use to direct your attention. So what I should do and what I shouldn't do, so you can make decisions.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Sure.
You have to have that, otherwise it won't work.
Yeah.
Number 6. How am I doing so far? Right?
It's good. It's not complicated, but it's. I feel two things. It's one, it's focused, and two, because we went over this, like just get more inventory. It's a better game.
Yeah.
Instead of like trying to find like the right stuff, just find stuff. Like a realtor does. A realtor doesn't go.
Right. So instead of negotiating with the person, say, well, listen, I think it's too high of a price, but who am I to say? This is all in my book, my new book. I can't believe that I wrote this book. I can't believe it. I really can't. It's taken me a little bit of while, but I can't believe I wrote this book. I mean, it's just incredible. And maybe I'll make a podcast just on some of the appendix, some of the questions, and just read them so people can get as excited as I am. But
Yeah.
anyways, the point is this: I don't think that the house will sell for that amount of money. But who am I to say? Because I'm not buying it.
Yeah.
So I'll tell you what. Let's do a 90-day option agreement. Let me put it on the market, and let's see what the market says.
Mm-hmm.
Now you have a VCW.
Right, but you could tell the person that if you felt that way instead of not saying it. Like,
That's what I was just saying.
yeah, well, that's what I'm saying, was because I hadn't thought of doing that. It's like, okay, that's what he wants, I'll do it. But you feel a little funny if you don't believe in it. Like, oh crap, this might. But if you tell him, like, look, I think it's high, but let's go for it. At least everything's above board. You're telling him what you really think, and he can say, well, maybe you're right. What should we do? Or like, just go for it. But everything's above board, and you're not feeling like you're.
It's what a realtor does.
Yeah. They make you happy.
They
Oh,
do it
how
every
much you
time.
want? Sure. You know, we always say you get 4 realtors that show up. You're going to pick the guy that gives you the highest. Oh, how about this for asking price? I like that guy, until it doesn't work out and you're back where you started from anyways, because it's not up to anybody but the buyer.
Right. All right, number 6, the last one.
Yeah.
And to me, well, I'll just leave it at that. The last one. To me, this is pretty important.
Okay.
Okay? You're growing slow, which means you're dying. And today's market, grow fast or die slow, isn't just a motivational phrase. It's economic reality. When your scaling timeline goes 5-10 years and lacks urgency, you're actually moving backwards because inflation, competition, and market changes are accelerating around you while your work expands into your comfortable timeline, creating the illusion of progress without real advancement. I can't tell you how many times I've spoken to people and they told me that, first of all, the average age of people that do what we do is between 40 and 70. It's dominant by males, although there are a lot of women these days. I mean, my coaching group is half women, which I absolutely love because they are smart. And they tell me how they've been studying creative real estate for 10 years, or 5 years, or 3 years, or for a year. And the reason why is because what you need to study is the buyer. not the seller. They're studying the wrong end of it, right? And this is like studying gasoline before you put it in the car and drive it. It's like, I'm going to study gasoline. What's the best gasoline for a car? And you study it and study it and study it, but you never get in the car and go anywhere. You see?
Yeah.
So you need to study the buyer. And the way you study the buyer is to get these VCWs that I'm talking about, valuable completed works, which are the either the slot deal or the options, and get into market. Now, in the book, Leads, Deals, Creative Real Estate Operator's Manual, I talk about as you do those deals, you start making some of this money, and then you do lease options. So you do slot deals first, and then you do options. You go back and forth. Then you start doing lease options where you stay in for 15% worth of equity and 20 or 25% worth of cash flow. You're testing. At that point, you've already tested the market with the slot deals and the options. You already know what the buyers want. Now you're going to start testing, well, how do they pay? Mm-hmm. And you start doing lease options. And then once you get used to the financial part and managing the financial aspect of it, now you go into subject to, and now you're still testing before you invest, but now you start investing. And instead of investing $200,000 in a property, you invest $5,000 on a subject to deal, because they're in foreclosure and you got to catch up payments, or they just want walk-in money, and you invest a little bit of money with subject to, and you keep going until you finally get down into the next stage, which is where you start investing bigger money. You start buying houses, and you start paying big down payments, owner finance deals where they want $30,000 down and you write a check. Because as you're learning, you're earning. As you're doing your slot deals and your option deals and your lease options and your subject twos, you're making chunks of dough, $30,000, $40,000, $50,000. And if you were clever in building your business, which we are going to talk about at some point, you're going to save some of that money to do future deals. And you're going to self-propel your business and make a business that is not using hard money and private money, paying 12% in points.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And this is how you do it. Now you're going to do some of that stuff, but you're going to have your own capital to be able to do that. And this is what Leads, Deals, and Cash, Creative Real Estate Operator's Manual is all about. So you should go to Amazon. You should get it because I just gave you a summary of it, and you should read it because I don't even know how I came up with it, and I'm not saying it because I wrote it, but I'm told by many that it's genius. So there you go. All right, so back to growing slow, which means you're dying. A stiff, low-time goal allows you to bypass the majority of dead ends, distractions, and noise that could otherwise derail you. But comfortable timelines invite distractions and delays because work will expand into whatever time you provide it. You know how a few months ago you were doing the guy down the Hamden deal, not the Hamden, the Woodbridge deal?
Yeah, the big $1 million house, yeah.
And I cut him off and you didn't?
Yeah.
This is the reason why.
Mm-hmm.
Because he was a distraction and a dead end.
Mm-hmm.
Make it or break it.
Yeah.
Put your money where your mouth is.
Mm-hmm.
And the way you put your money where your mouth is, and by the way, the easiest way to do this with a seller, there's one simple way to do this with a seller. It's, do their words match their actions?
Sure.
So give them a little test.
Sure.
Give them a little test. Go do this and I'll call you back tomorrow. And if they don't do it, my daughter is telling me this morning the most valuable thing on planet Earth is your attention. And because Taylor Swift was talking about it last night, they're talking about their attention, their commodity for attention, and that's why she was all over it, because she's a big Swiftie.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So your past success patterns, and this is the punchline for the podcast, and then we're going to wrap it up. Your past success patterns often work against future growth. Your past success patterns often work against future growth.
You're going to have to explain that one.
If your past patterns were successful, Peter, or sufficient, you already had the freedom you want. If your past successful patterns were doing what you need to do, you would have what you want. So the past successful patterns are working against you because they're not giving you what you want. You're missing the hidden secret that massive money comes from. I'll give it to you again. You're missing the hidden secret that massive money comes not just from delivering valuable services. In other words, my valuable creative works. It doesn't come from just that, right? But the real money comes from giving your seller a deep emotional experience, over delivering on satisfaction, and a social status lift that your client can gain. Because nobody else is doing that for them.
Yeah.
Without impossible seeming goals that shatter your present time activities, forces in inventive thinking, and include a compelling mission statement that others can buy into, you'll keep using old methods while the market evolves past you. And your work will continue expanding into whatever comfortable timeline you've allowed. Now, I'm not going to get into this, but I'm going to leave a cliffhanger here, which I'm going to get to in a couple of podcasts. Probably podcast number 474. If there was one thing that you believe that America is missing today, Peter, what would you say it would be? It's not a trick question. I don't expect you to give me the right answer. It's just a rhetorical thing.
What we're missing? Wow.
Yeah. What do you think Americans are missing the most? Why do you think our world is? Why do you think our country is the way our country is right now? What was attacked and intentionally taken away from us?
Yeah, I really don't know. I see a lot of things wrong, but I don't have one big answer for that. That's interesting that you're asking. I don't know.
Trust.
Good.
If the president, Mr. Biden, regardless if they were allegations or not, half the country believes it. The other half are hiding from it. If he was a liar, which all politicians are, and a lot of people can say Trump was a liar too, but if he was stealing money from China and his son was who his son was, I mean, just the pardons alone were all. If he was not even being the president, and these are all allocations, I'm not saying they're true or not, but if daddy and mommy are doing this, then what's the rest of the country going to do? If we can't trust our president, who can we trust?
Yep.
And that's a whole nother, blah, blah, blah. Everybody's got their opinion about that because there's right and left, and then there's the ones in between. The point that I'm trying to make to you is that the number one thing that is missed is trust. So if you work with somebody with empathy and you actually do what I just said, like you have a compelling mission statement. Like my mission statement is, I help sellers I used to say I help sellers that can't normally sell a house. I help buyers who normally can't buy a house, buy a house. That's my mission statement. But nowadays with inflation, we don't have a lot of people that normally can't sell their house.
Oh.
So the mission statement is, I help sellers sell a house for a fair price on the date of their choice and as is condition, and I help buyers who normally can't buy a house, buy a house. So who could argue with that mission statement?
Matter of fact, sometimes people ask what we do, and if I tell them like, oh, we help people buy a house that normally can't get one, they go, really? oh, that's really nice. They go, and they become more willing to work with you because they see you're doing something good, and these are good guys. Just because of that.
This is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about, making a deep emotional experience. You just gave a great example.
Yeah, cool.
Right? And over-delivering on satisfaction. What is satisfaction?
Well, when somebody feels they've accomplished what they want, or even more. Like you're satisfied. You're pleased with the outcome. You were hoping for something, and it happened.
Right. So it's a fulfillment of one's wishes or expectations or needs.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It's the pleasure derived from this.
Ah, that's good. Yeah, that's the feeling you're talking about. It's a feeling.
Right. But you're fulfilling their wishes, their expectations, their needs, and they feel like they're deriving those emotions or getting those emotions from you.
Yep.
So how hard is this? I'm asking people to be people and talk to other people as if they would want to be talked to or if they were talking to their grandma. And this will make you a multimillionaire. I'm asking for something that I didn't think would ever leave this country. And if you do that, you'll be trusted. And when you're trusted, you'll do deals.
Yeah.
So I'm going to talk about that in podcast number 473. I'm sorry, 474. For right now, we got a boogie. Hopefully you enjoyed this. So podcast number 473 is going to be the solutions to creative real estate scaling malpractice. First, we got to see what Sam says.
Sam, over-delivering on satisfaction. What can lead to misinterpretation, especially if one, woman or man, can be overjoyed on a half-cup full empty mindset.
You listen next week and I'll cover that, Sam. I promise.
Mm-hmm.
So next week, the solution to creative real estate scaling malpractices. I'm going to give you some really clever ideas that you can overcome all this stuff and actually stop it.
Cool.
So thank you for listening to us. Thank you for your attention. Thank you for your support. Make sure you like us wherever you're watching us and listening to us. Make sure you subscribe to us. Make sure you leave us a comment. And please make sure you go to Amazon, type in William Hawthorne, Hawthorn, and you'll grab the book Leads, Deals, Cash, Creative Real Estate Operator's Manual, and start reading it because it is the only book like it on the market. Believe me, the only reason why I'm writing these books is because I'm trying to get the training myself. And I can't find it. And it took me 30 plus years to figure it out. So these are my legacies to my grandsons. I've got 2 of them so far. All right. Again, thank you very much. Over and out. And we'll speak to you on podcast number 473. And I promise we won't play the music too loud on the intro and the outro.
Well, you know, if it was my old music that I did on the guitar, you could have blamed me. Because the guitar player is always too loud. Not my fault this time. Okie doke. All right. Alrighty.
It's more Emma than anything else. So, all right, guys. Flourish and prosper. Have a good week.
This has been Flipping Houses for Rookies. The American Dream. What is it? It's called financial freedom. And with real estate, you'll have it. Without the banks, without the bigwigs, and without the realtors' nonsense. Bill and Pete are 2 real estate investors with 30 years plus of experience, hundreds of deals under their belts, and a mission to change the way you think about creative real estate. Do be sure to like, rate, and review the show. And after that, hit up our YouTube channel at Flipping Houses for Rookies /streams. We'll be back soon, and see you then on Flipping Houses for Rookies.